All right. So we have been trying to kind of figure out, or let's say we have been trying to understand whether from where the consciousness is arised, right? Or the origin of consciousness. How the consciousness has originated, right? So now in this context, I mean, with respect to this particular question, so it is very important. So we have arrived at an argument, that whether energy, right, energy, whatever we call, I mean, whatever it may be, the energy, whether energy, so here to be specifically the material energy, for that matter, can it gives rise to consciousness, right? So it is very important to at least look at, or it's a investigate for some of the aspect, or let's say some of the property of what we call it as a metal or the material energy, right? So with respect to that, today we'll try to investigate one of the phenomena which we see, or which we observe in our day-to-day life, not only in the day-to-day life, also in a very in a deeper scientific observation, and I'll try to see that whether how this particular phenomena is arising, right? How this particular phenomena is arising, and that is what we call it as a movement, or let's say or let's say inertia, not really inertia, or let's say movement or motion, right? Or change of or let's say a change, for that matter, kind of position, change of position of a given object, right? Now, with respect to that, if you look at the gross object, right? So here also definitely it will take us to the discussion of Newton's law of motion, probably, right? However, let's start to analyze from the scratch and try to think that what is causing the motion to happen in this entire universe, or in this entire creation, right? What is causing a motion to happen? So what is causing a, for example, take an example of a given object which has been kept at a position, certain position, and that object will continue to remain in that place until and unless any external force has been applied onto it. Now, when you say the external force has been applied into it, now the definitely we should ask the question of origin of that force, right? What causes that force to originate, right? And there could be many reason, as far as we understand the motion of an gross object which is having is possible only by the application of the external force. That is one. Another things that we see is motion of any object is possible if there is a sort of potential difference, right? So for example, the and water flows from one place to another place if there is a potential difference, and similarly the current flows from one terminal to another terminal if there is a potential difference, and similarly the heat also flows if there is a temperature difference. Similarly the air or the wind changes, like moves from one place to another place if there is a kind of temperature difference, right? If there is a temperature difference, and which in fact triggers a pressure, and that eventually causes things to move, right? Similarly, the movement or the rotation of this entire planetary systems. So this, we are interested in this movement, right? Or the change of in a place of any given object. And for that matter, if you look at the subatomic atomic particle, and whatever at least we have understood the movement of electron, around nucleus, or for that matter formation of electron cloud, right? What is causing? So therefore we have, so therefore at least from the physics we understand that people have, we the investigator, or with the scientists have understood, or let's say figured out, four different kind of forces, fundamental forces, which we call, which causes this movement, right? But our question is that from where those fundamental forces are coming out, right? That is what is our interest is. So what is the origin of those fundamental forces, right? And and these questions will definitely take us to the kind of point of mass. So which means that some believe that it is the mass which is giving rise to such kind of forces, right? However, our context is kind of our hypothesis is different. The Vedic hypothesis or the spiritual hypothesis is quite different as far as my understanding goes, right? So that is the question. So what is causing this movement to happen, or this force, kind of from where these forces are arising? And one of the kind of premise, or the preliminary idea, like the basic idea that we wanted to context here, we wanted to contest here, is that this kind of forces are possible only in spiritual domain. So meaning to say that only in the conscious domain such kind of forces are possible. So which means that without consciousness, this movement or the change, like movement or the change of the position from one position to another position, is possible only in only due to the consciousness, right? And we are saying that this could be one of the hints, this could be one of the hints to which would leads us to answer these questions, where whether this material energy can gives rise to consciousness or not, right? If you probably properly understand that what is causing this movement to happen, and probably answer to this would also imply somewhere that consciousness is not the emergent property of the energy, rather the other way around. It is the consciousness which is giving rise to energy, right? So this is what is kind of our understanding is, and we'll try to investigate a little more. So looks like this discussion is taking us more and more towards the physics, and also though we have started from the neuroscience, but we will come back and get a little more detail kind of about on the neuroscience, and also we'll discuss more detailed aspect of the computational neuroscience and the computer science, and see that whether those explanation would be satisfactory to answer this question of origin and nature of consciousness, right? Yeah, thank you.